Man up. Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and
Man up.
inspire.
You gotta eat what you kill. You gotta go out there, you gotta hunt for your meals.
We all have that ability to connect with people, to be that motivational person
Man up.
in somebody's life.
You gotta let people know there's certain lines you don't cross, and that there's gonna be consequences if you do.
Man up.
If you are an adult and you are in a relationship, that person's emotions are not your responsibility.
Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and
Man up.
inspire.
The devil, during slavery, destroyed the masculinity or manhood of the so-called Negro. No man. No man. Right now you got to be trained all over again to be a man.
When someone is obligated to do something, it is binding upon them to do it. And failure to do it causes reaction.
Man up.
Position make you rich. I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life forever.
If that people knew that glorious path, if that people knew that glorious path, if that people knew that glorious path, then they would be more inclined to respect themselves.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us.
A place where we inform, build, and
Man up.
inspire.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and
Man up.
inspire.
You want to tell me about yourself? Go get your friends. I'll tell you who you are based on who your friends are.
Don't just live and die. That's an ugly existence. Make your life matter, make your life count. Live a life where people can actually mourn you for the things you left behind, not just because you were around and existed.
We need strong black nuclear family.
Yes. Yes.
That's what it is. Mother, father, son, daughter, all in the same house with a focus on the family unit as a whole.
We had Tulsa, Atlanta, New Jersey, Detroit. We had Rosewood. We had Black Wall Streets all over.
The Republicans aren't for us, but the Democrats aren't for us either. And we should have no alliance to any political party. We only have alliance to what is in our own best
A
interest.
place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and
Man up.
inspire.
At the end of the day, as men in the community, we
Man
must
up.
stand together and be counted, because people look to us for guidance, leadership,
Man
and
up.
protection. And if we are not about that business, we are not on our job.
Man up.
Here we have grown-ass man conversations in the spirit of that purpose.
Man up.
Anthony Malcolm, Bobby Drake, Major Gage.
Man up.
We are. This is Manifestations 2020.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and
Man up.
inspire.
All right. Welcome to another week of Manifestations 2020. I got my boys in the building.
What's
going
cracking?
on? What's up with Drake, man? What's going on with Drake?
What's going on, man?
Yeah, dog. You on some light skinned BBL joint, dog. Why are you hopping off the screen, my brother? Come on, man. When I introduce my boys, I want my boys to be on, bro.
Shots
Front
fired.
row and center. Dang, it's like that. All right, though. It's all right,
Yeah.
It's
You got
all
thick, we
good.
got broad shoulders, it's all good.
All right, it is.
It's all
It
good.
is.
Yeah, so we got a great show tonight, man. We wanted to chop it up with the fam. Basically go over some things that we've seen down our timeline. Kind of a chill week today. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited about football season. Shout out to all the men out there that's been waiting for football season to come back.
You already know. Yeah. You already
Dolphins
know.
in the house, baby. Dolphins all day.
Bees and disease to the Dolphins. Shout out to the Niners, though. Niner gang.
The Bengals is the only game that matters. Sorry for you.
God.
Who they? Who they?
We got the cowardly lion and the trash bowl 49ers. All right, cool.
All right.
That's what's up.
All right.
So so we got a lot of draft parties going on September 1st. So that weekend, I think we're gonna take off so everybody could get their drafts going on, get ready for that week. So definitely, we appreciate everybody for joining in. Shout out to Mila Renee, man. She did a wonderful video showing support and love and showing the importance of our platform. And we really love what she really did. That sister didn't have to go out our way to do that. You know, we already appreciate the love that her and her husband brings and the knowledge they bring on this show. But for her to go out there and make a video, you know, take time out because she was in a rush to go somewhere, and just at the last minute was like, yo, you know, I need to get this video out before I go in here. And she shot out the video and tagged us in. So much love to Mila Renee for doing that, man. Much love to you, Queen. That was so dope. So, and we appreciate it. You know, it's the smallest things we hold on to the most. So we really appreciate that. All right. So tonight, like I said, it's this show about chopping it up with the family. Hopefully, I'm hoping that our queen, you know, I was just speaking, or I should say typing to a queen who just lost her son to stupid violence from the police officer. He was assassinated. You know, it was another police assassination. She lost her son because this guy really targeted her son. So I was hoping that, you know, hopefully throughout the midst of this show, she would jump on here to tell her side of the story, give us the real details, because, you know, the media is not going to do that. They always parade police officers to be these stand-up citizens. And there are a few, let's not get it twisted, there are a few police officers that do go above and beyond and do want to do the right thing for the people. But those minute few officers that do their job does not overshadow the corrupted department and evil and racist individuals that lie in the department that also hide behind a badge to do some very destructive and evil things. So let's not get that twisted, all right? So we do want her to come on here to tell the real truth, because a lot of these police departments do a lot of covering up and hiding. You know, they're cowards, you know? So we want to come on here and educate the people and find out what are the solutions we can do to help this queen fight for her justice for her son. So hopefully she comes on tonight and we can definitely have a great conversation and dialogue. There are also some things I wanted to talk to her about. Like I tell people all the time, I don't really like the text in on the comment section, because a lot of times whether you text in the comment section or even texting somebody in real life, those words can be misconstrued. You could take it a different way because there's no tone and demeanor behind texts. You're just reading it. So once you read something without any tone or context, you can take it all the way left, you know, in some cases. That's why a lot of relationships and friendships have been broken up over text messages because of how they took it versus having a real live dialogue when they can understand each other and take it from the point of view. Oh, that's where you're coming from. Okay, I get it. So definitely wanted to do that. All right. So with that being said, definitely wanted to highlight this one thing I did see down my timeline. You guys give me your feedback on what do you think we can do to stop something like this, or is the sisterhood really that powerful enough to really go out here and say things to people, or are you guys just hiding and not doing anything and just minding your business? Because I think a lot of this does more damage to the children than we think it does, right? So I'll show you this picture real quick. So a mom sends a 5-year-old daughter to kindergarten in a colored 24-inch middle part wig. Putting the wig on my 5-year-old kid for kindergarten. P.S. Her braider canceled the night before school, so I did what I could, not too much. Is that something that we let slide, or is this just BS excuses for something that could be?
Seriously, I almost can't believe that that's a real story. You know how sometimes you got to go search and find out if it's a real story before you comment on it, because people be
Please tell me it's not. Please tell me it's not.
me that's not. And I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I was talking to a brother the other day. Shout out to that brother. I forget his name. Yesterday I was talking to this brother, and he was breaking down to me something. You know, his ex-girlfriend did him dirty, whatever the case may be. And, you know, she cheated on him. He ended up moving back to Miami. And, you know, he was giving me the lowdown, the story, whatever, and telling me how she would gaslight him and try to make him think that it was his fault and all of this type of stuff. And, you know, it was par for the course, right? You know, it's kind of something that I expected. And, you know, we got into a conversation about, guess what? The vetting process.
Yeah.
Because it's so important to vet women properly, people overall, but with men, and we're talking about, you know, relationships from our standpoint, vetting women prior to engaging with them and whatever is so important. It's so imperative. And this type of bullshit right here, what you just showed, just shows me that whoever this man is that came across the unfortunate incident of impregnating this woman who did this to this child, it just tells me that he didn't vet this woman. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's chicken head behavior. You know what I'm saying? You're not even a hood rat. You're a chicken head. That's 2 or 3 levels below a hood rat when you do that to your child. And I, you know, have been very vocal in the past, you know, about not dealing with women who have all fake everything. I just don't do it. I never have.
Yeah.
And part of the reason that I say that and have said that in the past, and you can ask women that I used to date before, because look, I'm no fool. You know, if I see a fine ass woman and I like her, I might talk to her and assume, okay, this weave in your head, maybe that's just a one-off. Maybe you don't do that often. You dig? And if it's braids or faux locks or, you know, some style that a black woman does and they're just wearing extensions, cool. I don't have a problem with that as long as it's not 24/7, 365.
Correct.
But for these women that have to have a white woman weave in their head all the time, I always say, that ain't something, you ain't gonna teach my daughter that shit. That's what I've always said. That's the reason, above and beyond the fact that I don't think it's attractive. The shit makes me itch. When that weave shit touches your chest, it makes you itch. It smells funny when it gets old, all that old shit. White woman weave, let me make a distinction. Sisters who wear your braids and you wear your faux locks and your curls, I ain't mad at you. But white woman weave is different. And I've always said, and this is a wig, this is even worse. You know, above and beyond everything else, you're ruining the child's hair. You know, you're destroying her little edges, you know, and you're sexualizing the child, really, because you're not supposed to be doing certain stuff when you're a certain age. So in my mind, immediately, I think, what type of imbecile would do this type of thing to a child? That's the first thing I think. Then I think about all the consequences, you know, that come behind a child being presented in such a light too early. You know what I'm saying? And then finally, I think about, okay, you know, the parents, the person that this is coming from, the things that this is okay to do to a child, and the other parent, presumably that is in agreement with it. Not necessarily. The father might have seen that and clicked on her. He might have went off. Then you post it on social media on top of everything else.
Yeah.
You can't fix stupid on that level, bro. I'm just saying, and like many things, at the end of the day, it's the child that loses.
Yeah.
Because, nobody should be, exploiting their child like that. And then she used the excuse, she didn't have time to get her hair done. Put it in a ponytail. Damn, use some common sense, because if you don't have chicken heads out here doing this to their children, you have chicken heads out here dressing their children up like Meg Thee Stallion with these little short shorts on, these little hot pants, showing their little cakes off or whatever the case may be, and the child is 6. What are you doing?
Oh, okay.
It is truly disturbing, is my reaction. That's truly disturbing, and it bothers me. And I understand why some people get their kids taken from them. That's what I respond when I see shit like that.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
The whole mentality that everything is a show. You got to put everything on social media.
Exactly.
Everything is about chase. Stop. Just stop.
Yeah, what you got to say with that,
Bobby? Jesus Christ, man.
It's a lot.
Some days I just want to walk around with like a little bottle of Visine, but with like some Clorox in it, and just every now and not every now and almost damn near every 5 minutes, just drop in my eyes. Problem is, I'm pretty sure that's going to kind of destroy my eyesight. And but it's funny because I remember on X/Twitter, whatever it wants to call itself these days, a friend of mine dropped a picture or reshared a picture of this woman who had just turned 22, and she took one of these birthday photo shoots, and she's like, "Let me show you how we 22." And I'm going to say she's an attractive sister. I can't tell, honestly, because she had a whole face baptized, and it looked like someone took an old school pie, like it was a Three Stooges episode, and slammed the damn thing in her face. Her face was so caked up with makeup. God only knows what she actually looked like. I'm not being funny.
Wow.
The makeup was so obviously thick. God only knows what she actually looks like. Maybe she got like a whole Rocky Road asphalt face. Maybe I don't know. Maybe she looks just as good, but I'm going to assume that she's halfway decent looking. Face a completely different shade from the rest of her body. And she found the most hooker sheen dress that she could wear. It was purple, translucent. You can see, you can't even, it's not even masking the areolas. You can see the breasts, you can see the nipple rings and everything poking out. Big old cutout down like the torso. I don't know what the point of it was on. And of course the slit was practically up to her. It was up to her uterus just about. If she sneezed, you're going to see the whole coochie and everything. And only thing my friend said was like, birthday makeup equals tranny makeup. And I said, someone said, a birthday shoot for most women equals a pound of makeup and fake hair. I refuse to understand it. And I responded to it and I said, and it's crazy because there's almost a week to the day, and that's exactly what we're seeing right here. And I said, women are conditioned early to believe that beauty isn't what you are. It's what you add. So in order to look and feel beautiful, you have to add things to yourself instead of simply maintaining and optimizing what you already have. So from early now, it's one thing to get your child all done at first day of school. You want them to look great, make a good first impression, really get positive emotions and feelings in them about back to school, condition that habit of, getting excited for school. Who wouldn't be with that?
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer. Yeah, absolutely. But if you can't go and, get, a nice, decent hairstyle or whatever, you would go put a wig and everything on a 5-year-old child. And of course the child's smiling. The child's 5 years old. The child don't know a damn thing. You can most kids, you can give them a rock with the smiley face drawn on it. They're going to have a great time for at least 5 minutes. God bless their hearts. That's how they are. So that child don't know any better. But she's conditioning her child early to think that if I want to look good, presentable, and not even for a wedding or a big time party, just for the first day of school, if I want to look good, period, I need to put on wigs. I need to put on extensions. I need to put on this, is that, and the third or whatever. And then later on, when this child grows up to be an adult woman and is running around getting BBLs and surgeries and all kind of lipos and everything else, whatever, she's gonna turn around and say, "Well, it's men's fault. Men are the one reason why we're doing this." No, you failed to take into account how way back when you were 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old, your mother thought it was a wise idea to put a whole wig on your head, a Ronald McDonald clown wig at that.
And the wig ain't even a good wig. Let's add that in. Damn.
And textures and colors and stylings that aren't even remotely close to what would be normal and natural for you. And without this, you don't look presentable. The fact that she couldn't get her hair done, and instead was, like you said, just putting some little three twist braids, whatever the case may be, and sending her off, whatever, or getting some nice little barrettes or little ties in her hair, whatever. She had to do this because my baby wasn't going to look good unless we did something. You are driving that image home strong that, baby girl, you are not enough.
Yeah.
You just showing up with that beautiful smile on your face, with your happy personality, with your enthusiasm to learn, that's not enough for you to look good on the first day of school. You got to have this monkey cap on top of your head. And it's only going to get worse from there.
It's definitely going to get worse from there. I feel like a lot of times this is pretty much true. For the most part, a lot of people do a lot of things for the likes instead of the genuineness of, because that's not something you should even share on social media unless you wanted to go viral and putting your own child in the risk of being shamed virally. I think that was a poor choice for a mother to do. I also want to show.
And she even acknowledged that because she said right at the end of that caption, "Not too much." She knew she was going to get a negative response. Talk about not too much, and don't say too much, whatever. So you knew this, you expected it, but that not even that stopped you from going ahead and putting your child out there just for you to get some comment and engagement.
Correct. I do want to show something that a lot of when a child grows up, she'll go through this too, because we made so much of it being a norm of wearing wigs that a lot of women apply it into their grown years. So check this video out.
You have a wig on?
You said what?
You have a wig on?
The what?
You have a wig on?
Wow.
Hey, little one. Hey, big one.
Wow. Alrighty.
So even the little white boy pointed out, and he was being, I think he was being a detective, because he went to go tie his shoe because she was laying down on the grass, and he noticed the little parts and fixtures and even the mesh thing that went on. It was so funny because I saw some comments. I forgot to send the comments up, but I want you to hear some of the comments that they had on there.
I could say something, but then I'm going to start getting a whole bunch of backlash about how I hate black women, so I'm going to leave that alone.
Bro, say what you got to say. That's the point of the show. We don't play that shit on here. You know what I'm saying? If people get their feelings hurt, they get their titties in a punch, nobody cares.
Here goes the comment, right?
The comment's probably going to say it for me, though. I'll let you know.
I'll say the comments, and then you can do your commentary, right? So the comment was, one person said, kids will casually destroy your whole confidence and then go play dodgeball like they didn't just verbally assault you. The other comment said the fact he asked 3 times in the same tone was diabolical.
Hilarious.
The next comment was like, y'all be acting like nobody could see that screen door material. And then the last girl said, girl, he's so messy. He tied them shoes to get a clear look at that lace. All right. So those are the comments that I saw on there. And her caption, the girl who posted it, her caption was, I'm still salty behind this little human that lowered my self-esteem. Because why would he be in my black wig business anyways? Fake lacing up them soft Shaq sneakers to get a closer glimpse. This actually started my natural hair journey because it was a traumatic experience. All right.
Hello. All right.
Shame took all that.
Check this out. You know what I'm saying? All that. Everything you just said, gang. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna just put this out there because what I don't like, right, is when Sambos take any situation where they see a black woman wearing, you know, a wig or a weave, even a white woman wig or a white woman weave, right? And they use that to talk down on black women as a general population. No, that's not what we're doing. We don't advocate for that. You know, obviously, every black woman is different. Shout out to our sisters. We love our sisters. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, are we being honest or are we being honest?
Correct.
A lot of sisters don't want to look like sisters. Shout out Serena Williams. You dig? A lot of sisters don't want to look like sisters. And when we call that out, oh, you hate black women. No, because a lot of sisters do look like sisters. You understand? But we're calling out the fact that a lot of y'all sisters don't really seem to love yourself or think that you're enough. A lot of sisters don't seem to think that their beauty is enough. Even you see some of these women who've went and gotten this you see some of these women who have went and gotten this plastic surgery, you know, been surgically enhanced, whatever the case may be, got a fake ass, got fake breasts, whatever the case may be. Then, you know, years later, like K. Michelle, you know, they're talking about how they regret getting the surgery. You understand? They talk about how, oh, it makes them feel bad, you know, and it, you know, they have mental complications behind it, not even mentioning the ones that die on the table. You understand? And you know, if we're not getting that extreme and we're not talking about surgical alterations, just the fact that, you know, a lot of women feel like they got to put on this costume in order to look beautiful, that is a problem, not only for you, but in your dating circle, you understand, and in life generally. Because like I said, you pass this type of stuff on to your daughters, you know, you have no real confidence in your own beauty. You always feel kind of empty. And that's going to reflect in the type of men that you attract. Keeping it a buck, you know, and women don't tend to realize that. You know, shout out to that sister for going on her natural hair journey after that traumatic experience. Sometimes you need somebody to kind of shake things up so that you know what's up. Because let's keep it a buck. A lot of women, they just do this because everybody else is doing it.
Yeah.
I know women back in the days who used to be deaf on women that always had a weave in their head, always wore a wig, whatever the case may be, and they have become those women. Why?
Yeah.
Because Beyonce, because Cardi B, because Nicki Minaj, all of them are on this falsification of beauty.
Yeah.
All of them are on that. And look, you can do whatever you want. I'm not going to say you can't do it, but people are going to look at you a certain way when you do it. You understand? The same way that you're free to do what you want, people are free to feel the way that they feel about you doing whatever it is that you did. You know, and what I can't stand is, you know, when you have an opinion, everybody wants to come and try to police your opinion. Like somehow their opinion is any better than yours. That's why I told Bobby Drake, bro, say what you got to say. You know, let the chips fall where they're made, because, you know, nobody's opinion is right. Nobody. You know, but people kill me when you have an opinion. They come telling you not to have your opinion to give their opinion. How that work? Because you're still giving an opinion. Oh, what you're saying is wrong. That's an opinion too.
Correct.
So let's get out of this habit of trying to be the opinion police you know, and not let people say what they need to say. If that's how you feel, then that's how you feel. I just say, you know, if somebody's going to express an extreme opinion, okay, stand on it.
Correct.
What facts are you, you know, putting behind what you're saying to support that claim if that's how you feel? You know, that's all I say. And if people ask me, I can point to studies that have talked about, you know, the falsification of beauty and, you know, how a lot of those people who engage in those practices, they have low self-esteem. There have been studies done on this. They have low self-esteem, you know, they don't feel whole, they don't feel complete, so forth and so on. I'm not just talking out of my ass. I'm just saying. So, you know, shout out to that sister. And I want to see more sisters becoming people who love their natural selves. There's nothing wrong with a little enhancement, a little lip liner, lip gloss, a little eyeliner, whatever the case may be. But when you got 10 pounds of makeup, 10 pounds of weave, you know what I'm saying? Come on, man. What are we doing? And then you want to talk about how you want a real man and ain't nothing on you real. It has implications.
Yep.
So great point, because I think, and just to go back on what you were saying about, you know, we're not here to badger women. We don't do that. We love our Black women, and we just want you to embrace your naturalness. You know, it's okay to, if you're going on if it's your birthday, you want to dress up, you want to add some extensions or makeup on your birthday, that's fine. You know, you have an interview, you want to go to the interview sharp, looking good, that's fine. You know, special occasions, there's exceptions for special occasions. But for the most part, your actual beauty is really better than the added on beauty. There is so many women that I've seen that I'm like, yo, you really don't need that. There's women that will put on red lipstick, and I'm like, yo, you don't need that red lipstick. And I also educate, you know, especially Black women on the history behind red lipstick. Red lipstick, red fingernails, those were to indicate who the streetwalkers were.
True.
So really in depth, you really shouldn't be fixated on red lipstick. I know a lot of y'all like how it looks, especially some light-skinned women. They like how the red projects on them, give them a little bolder edge to their complexion. I get it. You know, it might work for some people. I particularly don't like women loud colors. The red, the blues, the purple. I've seen all those different shades of lipstick, fingernails. I don't do all of that. I'm basic. I like the French manicure, American manicure. Earth tone colors is dope. If you have lipstick with earth tone colors, that's good. It highlights your melanin a little bit more. And also, I love lip gloss. You know, you got lip gloss, that especially, it glows on melanated women, you know? So there's things that you can do that can highlight you better than the things that you personally do. And I think a lot of times with our people, and I haven't seen anybody, do y'all know anybody in our community that does stylist, that is a stylist for people? Y'all know anybody like that?
Nah.
So that's what I'm saying. So we got, you got what?
Not that I can say, no.
That's what I'm saying. So we got voids in our community that you guys could make buku money on. Like if somebody's out there and, you know, to really tell people, hey, look, you don't have to do this and you can accent it a certain way and style people, you know, that's a different avenue, you know, to get into and get these women out here to be looking right. But in the long run, we just like our we like our women to embrace their naturalness. God made you a certain way. God actually made Black women to be the ultimate women on the planet. So embrace that, because everything that you're out here trying to highlight or basically enhance, that's what you came naturally with. You already naturally come with a big body, a big butt. So a lot of women out there trying to get the BBLs, you already come with fuller lips. A lot of people from different races don't have fuller lips, and they go buy the collagen lips to get fuller lips like you. So it's like everybody's trying to emulate you, everybody's trying to be you, and it's like you're trying to destroy that to be them. That's the crazy psychoanalyst of the whole situation. It's like y'all trying to be them and they trying to be you, you know. So embrace it, you know, and that's all we want you guys to do. I do say a lot of times we so focus on our children's looks. A lot of times we invest so much in our children's looks, in their fashion, and everything that they do cosmetically, that we forget to basically take the time to enhance these children's mind. The comprehension level of these children is going vastly downhill. It's regressing so bad. A lot of these children aren't at the level that they need to be at. And it's part of us parents, also uncles, cousins, the village. All of us have to play a major role to mold these children and keep them on the track to be the excellent individuals that they are destined to be. And I want to show you this one video clip, and it's so sad because there's no excuse for this, all right?
Okay.
Well, tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. T-O-R. No, damn. T-O-M-O-R-R. R-O.
No.
That is it.
No, it isn't. It's spelled.
Wow.
Wait.
No, it's spelled T-O-M-O-R-R-O-W.
I ain't gonna lie.
I didn't have a
The
W.
reason I gave it to King,
I ain't had a
because
W.
boy, my text messages, the last thing I'm spelling right is tomorrow. I ain't gonna even lie. I'll put whatever.
And I think as elders, especially from 2 Chainz, and 2 Chainz know better than that because 2 Chainz is a very intellectual dude. If I'm not mistaken, I think 2 Chainz does have degrees. I think he is a college educated man. A lot of these rappers
from University of I think from UT, some school in Texas.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of these
Very smart
rappers
brother.
are very educated rappers, from Lil Wayne all the way up. These people go to college. They're on collegiate level. That's why you hear in their vocabs, you like, okay, something's up. Yeah, because they're very intellectually enhanced. But they go on these microphones and try to be cool with the younger generation, dumbing themselves down. No, that's not what elders do. You know, for him as a friend of T.I., as an outside elder, you're supposed to say, you know what? Hey, come holler at me. I'm gonna get you with a couple of other young adults, and we're gonna have this little boot camp. And also, by educating y'all gonna go and educate, and we're gonna do this 6-month program, and then we gonna videotape the results of that. Like, do challenges like that. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of stuff that impacts the community and impacts the younger generation. Not sitting back and saying, oh yeah, boy, you know, when I got text message, boy, I write tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, that doesn't do anything for our community. So I wanted to play that because we are so obsessed with ourselves, so obsessed with what we're doing, that we forget to build for the next generation. And I've talked about that plenty of times on here. As adults, as elders, we got to make sure that the next generation is living better than us. The next generation is excelling more than we are. We can't sit back and then we're excelling, and then the next generation we pass the baton and they're failing. That means that while we were running, we weren't doing our jobs. You know, because the generation before us, they did a lot to get us to where we were, and the generation before them did a lot for our grandparents to get to our parents to get where they were. So our grandparents did the legwork to make sure that our parents had better lives than they did, and our parents made sure we are living better lives than they did, and we aren't making sure that the next generation is living better than us. We're cool with what we are doing, and we telling the next generation, F them kids. And now you're seeing a lot of people talk about FTK, fuck them kids. And it becomes a norm now. That's a very highly text acronym through a lot of parents. Fuck them kids. And then people say, oh, I'm just joking. No, that's not joking. When I see people that say fuck them kids, regardless if you take care of the kids or not, if you're taking care of the kids, there's no need for you to say fuck them kids, right? Because you're putting the impression out there for people that don't take care of their kids to be cool with, oh, he say fuck them kids, so I should say fuck them kids. If that's how you feel, then say that in your own time, but don't come on social media and say fuck them kids, because now you're putting the pressure and the impression on people to say fuck them kids that ain't doing shit for their kids. Everything you do on social media should be impressionable in a positive way to change the dynamics of the next generation. Anytime you come out here and you're a positive parent and you're telling fuck them kids in public, you are part of the demise. You are part of the destruction, because I could be a great citizen. I could look out. I could do a lot of things for the Black community. But if I'm out there selling drugs, then what the fuck? Everything that I'm doing for the community is demolished because I'm sitting back selling a product that's destroying the community. So what does you're doing counterproductive stuff?
Right.
So if I'm a stand-up person, everything that I do, when I walk, I talk, my posture, who I'm around, things like that should represent the type of person that I am. That's what I'll tell you guys in the clip, in our intro clip, and I said that my dad, and it was so funny because I was talking to my brother today, right before we got on. I was chopping it up with my brother, and he was like, yo, bro, I forgot to call you. I said, yeah, a lot of times you call me. So I said, man, I ain't hear my brother in a long time. Let me call you. So I called him and chopped it up with him. And we was talking about everything. And in the midst of it, we were reminiscing about our father. So I brought up that, my dad wasn't a rich dad, but my dad instilled in me so many valuable lessons and knowledge in me that it actually altered and changed my life. And no money could put the amount of information and the way of thinking as a man that my father put in me. No money could amount to that information. That was so priceless and valuable. It was life-changing. And I was talking to my brother, and he, we was talking about, I said, I let him listen to the intro video, and I said, the part where I say, show me your friends. Don't tell me who you are. Just show me your friends, and I'll tell you who you are. And my brother was like, yeah, that's one of our Jamaican proverbs that we used to say down in the island. And that's what Dad would always say to us. And there was so many other things he would say to us that stuck with us. And I think it's so powerful when you have people around you like that impacts your life. Because when people look at me and they say, man, Aunt, well, I'm so proud of you, or man, you're so knowledgeable, I got to give that credit back to my father. I got to give it back to the roots, because that's who is the one that sparked that in me. So you see how, as an elder, as a parent, how pouring into your child, or even not your own child, because one thing my dad always did, every time my homeboys came to my house, he would make sure that they were good too. Like, hey, what are your grades looking like? Do you know this? Or he would give them some books of information and things like that. So my dad wasn't pouring just into me. He was pouring into the people next to me, because he felt like if you love your friends like that, then I love your friends like that. And he knew my friends were good quality friends. So he didn't know if they had a father or not, but he was going to be that extended father for them when they were in the vicinity of our home. And that's why a lot of my friends used to respect my pops, and they were very sad when my pops transitioned as well. So I say that because you don't understand the impact that you have as a father in a child's life. And just to add on to that, I'm gonna show you this video, and then I'm gonna pass it off to my fellas so they can add on to it as well.
If I say right now, hey Siri, call Dad, is it somebody in your phone gonna get called? Call your father, I'll call my father. Let's see who pick up first. Where's my phone at, bro? Toss it, bro.
You're going dad for dad.
Who's going dad for dad right now?
3, 2, 1, go.
Come on, Pop.
Hold up.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
We ain't got dads? Come on, bro. Hello?
So, so niggas asking who won. Black dads won. And then right before there was a comment that said, calling your dad and your dad picking up is such a flex. Like that's one of the biggest flex. So I played that video to show you, like, look at the reaction that two boys, right? Because there's this negative narrative that Black boys don't know their fathers. You know, it's a running joke, especially with the white supremacists. You don't know your father. And then we take that same narrative and we joke around with our people and be like, you don't know your daddy either. And we would run with that narrative. So what makes that so powerful is the fact that it's a BS narrative and they have facts to prove it. Because like I said, in 2015, the CDC had a statistical fact that said Black fathers ranked number one, not last, number one inside and outside the house, meaning that inside the home, two-parent structure, and outside as co-parenting fathers, they rank number one out of all race of men, white men included. So while a lot of people running around here talking about white men are better than Black men, it's a farce, it is self-hating, and it's not fact-based. We have plenty of times I have shown those statistics and I have shown the facts behind it. So to show this video and you see the reaction of these Black boys, knowing that not only that they called their dad, but their dad picked up at the critical moment that they needed their father to pick up, both of them at the same time. As soon as they called, as they saw the phone and saw it was their son, they picked up at the same time. So that was so powerful and so dope. I think a lot of people don't understand that. And I just wanted to show, you know, mad respect to those two young fellas and mad respect to the fathers to being there for their sons at any given moment, because they could have been in the traffic stop. And guess what? If they were, they'll know off rip that my dad would handle it and he'll be there to take care of it or help me out in this situation during the process. So shout out and kudos to those guys, and I land my plane on that.
Yeah. Bobby, what you got?
You know, I love this video so much when I saw it automatically. And what this goes to show is that we have to evolve as men. We have to be honest. We have to be practical about the times and the society that we live in. And the reality is that manhood, masculinity, and men have been under assault for quite some time now. Especially Black men, Black manhood, and Black masculinity. And unfortunately, a lot of our nature, because you have to understand that the people that work against us, they are very strategic. They're very well-intentioned. They don't do things haphazardly. They study the ops before they go ahead and launch attacks and movements against them. And they understand that with most men, women will go and will have a whole host of different showcasings. Women will talk about how they want to go and claim Mother's Day, but they also want to get credit on Father's Day because they played both roles. Women will go and try to get a whole bunch of accolades for basic, everyday, regular things. Men don't do that. We just sit back in the cut and we just get it done, or we don't, one way or the other. And when men are out here making it happen and doing big things, a lot of the time we don't look for any fanfare. We don't look for any huge accolades. We don't look for any big attention. We just do what the hell we do. Yeah. In most cases, a lot of us are very uncomfortable when we receive recognition for the things we do. We're like, wow, he's such an amazing dad. He raised the children. He's like, I'm just doing what I'm supposed to. I'm a father. They don't go look for all the extra celebration or whatever. So we don't toot our own horns. And because of that, the enemies see that, and on purpose, they go ahead and they toss out all these negative stereotypes about us, saying that Black men aren't this, Black men don't do this, that, and the third, whatever. And they know that Black men as a whole aren't going to really buff back, really fight back against that. So they will over-magnify, they will toss in your face every single instance of Black men not stepping up, not doing what they're supposed to be doing, not representing and holding it down. And because there's no counter narrative, it's like the last image that you see in your head is what sticks. So therefore, the impression is that black men don't do this, black men aren't good fathers, black men aren't present, black men are this, that, and the third, or whatever. When the reality is, those who have these men in their lives know that, that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
And in some cases, these images do even mess with the people who do know better. They see the good men, but they're constantly getting hit by this media campaign of the men not doing well. And so it's confusing. It's like, well, they keep saying this, but that's not what I see. We need more videos like this to go out and go viral to combat that. I understand that's not what's normal for a lot of us. That's not comfortable for a lot of us. But for the sake of ourselves, the young boys that are growing up looking at, because remember, they're affected by this too. When they see this, they buy into some of those images, and that in some cases influences them to not hold down the mantle, not do like they're supposed to be doing. So it's not just about showcasing to the world and proving ourselves. It's not about that, but it's about reaching the next generations and informing them, because think how those images are going to infect the young girls growing up when they go out there looking for men. Well, I don't want to get with black men because black men are this, is that, and the third. Black men aren't responsible. Black men don't make good fathers. That's not true, baby girl. Well, I don't want to have kids because I'm afraid I'm going to be a terrible father. I've heard men say that. Well, I'm afraid to have children because, I'm afraid I'm going to mess them up. I'm not going to be a good father. Wow. So this stuff is real out there.
Yeah.
Perception is reality. So we need to fight back against this and counter the narrative as much as possible, so that way we can correct the status quo. We can let men know, hey, what you're seeing is not the truth. This is who we really are. We can correct the slave for our women. Hey, you can be proud of your men because the jokers you see, they exist, but there's way more of us that is solid and 10 toes down than otherwise. So we need to launch our own campaign. That's why I'm grateful that we have this platform where we can do our own little bit in the yard. There's a lot of work to be done, but we in our little section, we got our hands dirty, we got our sleeves rolled up, but we put in the work. So this needs to continue. So whoever it is that made that video, hats off, keep with the good work. Yeah. And we need to create that echo chamber to really reinforce that.
Real talk. Real talk. But look, bro, the importance of black fathers in the lives of their children cannot be understated. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's everything when the father is around. Like, the father brings a different energy than the mother. Of course, the mother's energy is important. What she brings to the table is important. You understand? But the father, they bring that forthrightness. They bring that accountability. They're the disciplinarians a lot of the time. At a certain age, my mother sent me off to go live with my father in California. That's when I became a 49ers fan. You understand what I'm saying? Shout out to the Niners. But I'm just saying, like, I had to throw that in there. You feel me? It's so important that I went out there during that time because I had gotten too big for my britches. Like, I was, walking around like I'm the man of the house, and I'm all of 11, 12 years old. I didn't want to listen to my mom no more because, I saw my mom as soft, and my mom is tough, but I saw my mom as soft because she's still a female. You understand? And, I kind of needed to be around my father so that he could teach me how to channel that masculine energy and, how not to be like that towards my mother, how to still respect my mother, even though she has a different type of energy. It's different when it comes from your father. Yeah. You take things as a boy, you take things more seriously when they come from your father. Especially my dad. My dad wasn't no punk. You understand what I'm saying? My dad is a former boxer. He was one boxing match away from the Olympics. You dig? My dad he's a smaller guy, but he's pretty tough. Yeah. Got a little older and he, put on a little weight. He starts speaking, boy, you take what he says seriously. And just having him there and, being able to ask him about certain things, understanding, okay, when I get out there with him and his friends, they were always telling me, you need to do this like a man. No, you're moving like a woman. Yeah, chill. No, don't do that. Eat your food like a man. That was a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you eat the meat and you don't clean all the meat off the bone, you're eating like a woman. tighten up. You dig? It was a thing, like so, and so you become a different person, literally, when your father is in your life and in your presence. And when I used to talk to my dad on the phone, oh my God, when I was messing up, I used to dread those phone calls because my dad is one of those guys. He didn't use intimidation to check you. He used respectability to check you, and that's like the hardest check. You know what I'm saying? Like, you respect him so much, you don't want to disappoint him.
Yeah.
You feel me? My dad was like Tony Dungy. You know, that's how Tony Dungy was. Like, you just respect this guy so much, you don't want to disappoint him. So you have that energy coming from another man, someone that you're coming up in the image of. The last thing you want to do is let this dude down. You literally hang on his every word. I still have this 49ers bag in the closet. My wife asked me the other day, what the hell, why do you still own this thing? It's the first gift that I got from my dad after he moved to California. And I've had it since I was 6 years old. It's beat up. It's got ink stains all over it. It's atrocious. But that came from my father. You understand what I'm saying? And people just don't understand. It don't connect for some people, you know, because they don't have their father, or they just don't understand, because children now are being taught to devalue the importance of fathers. They're being taught that. Whether the mothers realize that they're teaching them that or not, when you run around talking about how you don't need no man and all this old bullshit, your kids hear you saying that.
Yeah.
When you run around, you know, cussing your baby daddy out, talking about he ain't shit, then you turn around and you go cuss your husband out, and you always railing on men, your children hear that. You know, and there's this one meme, I'll never forget this meme. It's a cartoon meme, and you know, it's three people in the family speaking. And, you know, the mother is like, I don't need no man. And then the daughter says something like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
She's like, I don't need a man. The daughter goes up to say, I don't want a man. And the little boy goes up to say, I don't want to be a man.
Exactly. Right. That's what you're doing, you know, and we just can't have that in Black society if we intend to move forward and, you know, correct some of the ills that belabor us at the moment. So I'll park my Range Rover with that. You dig?
Definitely. Excellent points. You know, I think we have to understand the importance of men and bringing that back, because our society is really crushing down when we don't highlight the great things that these men are doing. And we let all these other things come into play, and is basically messing up a lot of the structure that has been reinforced from earlier times of solid men, uncles, grandfathers in our past, and we're letting it be destroyed. And we have to make sure that we reinforce it and move in a better direction. And also, like Bobby Jakes was saying about, you know, self-esteem wise, you know, a lot of these young boys don't have the self-esteem to be men. And we're seeing that as them crossing over and getting on the other side, because, you know, when they feel like it's too hard to be a man, then, you know, I can get more by being a woman, you know, and that's some cases. Sometimes men do, these young boys do convert over because of the pressures of being a man. It is not easy to be a man, and that's why men are 3 times more likely to commit suicide. You know, we talked about that all the time. Like, everybody depends on a man, even though they don't get them credit. Everybody depends on your man. The parents depend on the young man. The children depend on that man, and the girlfriend or wife depends on that man. You know, everybody depends on him to create the happiness for their lifestyles. But who is he to go to depend on to create the happiness for his lifestyle? He doesn't. He's the anchor. He's the rock. So sometimes, you know, you have a lot of these men that act tough in real life, in public, but as soon as they close that door, they break down crying. They don't want the world to see it, but they break down crying, and those tears aren't heard by the mass people in the world. And if they are heard, then they get ridiculed for it, belittled for it, and then that puts on 10 times more weight on top of it. So we do want to encourage our men. Shout out to the sisters that do a good job encouraging men around them, the ones they know and the ones they don't know, uplift them. You know, and shout out to the men that encourage the women that do that. You know, we do have solid people within our community that do understand that there's a lot of weight on different shoulders. You know, I was watching something the other day and just seeing that a lot of these mothers, man, they go through a lot. You know, some mothers go through it because of the choices that they make. And some guys out there do lie about their character, being deceitful, also love bombing, portraying themselves through love bombing, and have these children with these women. And, you know, sometimes life isn't as peachy and creamy with them because they don't have the option to, you know, say, you know, I need a break. There are some women out there that go 24/7 and just would love to have a break and have nervous breakdowns, and sometimes to the point where they end up committing suicide, you know, or taking their children's life and then committing suicide. So we understand our sisters out there that do go through that struggle. I have a lot of empathy for a lot of these women out here, you know. So we just want to make sure that as our community, you know, fellas, whether you can be a mentor or you just be somebody real positive in someone's life, do it. You know what I mean? A lot of times we always say, well, that's them and I got to worry about my household. And I think that's one of the most destructive mentalities that's going around now is everybody's worried about themselves. And that selfish type of mentality is very destructive because we're letting a lot of people slide that should have been corrected. Because let me tell you something, when we were growing up, we got corrected by everybody, the neighbors, the drug dealers, the teachers, unknown strangers that just seen us getting out of line. And they checked us and they put us right back on. And nowadays you don't see that. Everybody's worried about themselves, you know, and they keep their head tucked and keep it going. And that's why we're losing part of society, is deteriorating slowly. And we got to get a grasp back on that and build back that village mentality. All right. With that being said, I did want to show a video, right? So as you guys know, we have been talking about women. We have been talking about how women, right? When we used to talk about the fact that women were going around here and we was like, you know, just the concern of our women not presenting themselves in the best light and adapting to a lot of ratchet behavior, and a lot of good women out there that allow that ratchet behavior to carry on without checking it. You know, the sisterhood isn't as impactful as it used to be back in the day. We're seeing a lot of sisterhood co-signing a lot of fuckery and letting that ride on. And we watched that go on for years. And we have been talking about that every time we get on here. We talk about it on our social media posts. We always make sure we make a point to point it out. It doesn't matter if it's man or women. We make sure that we want to hold the structure of us representing ourselves to the best light, because we have children watching. You're not born a role model. You are giving that title because you have children that watch their elders. So even though you might not be that biological parent to that child, does not mean that child not watching you. That child is watching entertainers. They're watching the people across the street. They're watching the elders around their school. They're watching all the adults to see how they should carry themselves in society. And we're doing a bad job about representation, right? And we talked about, when we talk about it with the men have tightened up on that. They hold themselves accountable and they tighten up. Whenever you speak on it about women, it's always about controlling the woman's body. You say this, you say that, and then it's like you turn it, and instead of correcting it, you just do the blame game and shift the fingers. So I reposted what this girl said, and I'm going to show you a video. And, you know, this is something we've been talking about for years. And it seems like you guys let it roll on so much for so long. Now I'm seeing a lot of women are getting tired of it. And this is what we were trying to do. We were trying to avoid y'all from getting to this level because we knew it was coming. We knew this day was coming. All right. So I had a post. I posted this up the other day. I remember tagging you. I didn't tag you, Major, but I tagged Bobby. And I said, so the original post was from a Facebook friend, Alexis Love. Bro, I never in my life seen so many little girls go to school with short skirts. Like, damn, our skirts were an inch above the knee or knee level. I don't want to hear shit about, oh, don't look at the kids that way. I ain't. But why is it okay for their skirts to be so damn short for school? It's weird. Fuck your adult feelings. I'm always speaking up on some weird shit. And this generation is weird. I'm a speak up for the kids because I'm a mama and you bitches are weird. Everyone wants to follow a trend. Just because she isn't my daughter doesn't mean I don't care. Shout out to Alexis Love for that, man. Definitely shout out for calling out the bullshit and understanding the village mentality. So when she wrote that, I took it, I shared it, and I wrote this up top. I said, this is what Manifestations 2020, myself, Major, and Bobby Drake always talking about. We tried to speak on it through our Facebook pages or our YouTube platform. We get so much pushback from people saying, mind your business. But as men, we can't allow behavior like that to take control and become the norm. Now you are seeing people stating, starting to get tired of it and sick of the propaganda taking control of society and our communities. Either you stand for something or you fall for everything. All right. So I wrote that, and I want to show you. And also, to her note, I also put that I've seen at least 20 other women that have made similar posts about girls going to school with short skirts on the first day of school that just happened I think it was this week or last week, right?
Both.
So I want to show you this video and then I'll hand it over to you guys.
Now, I'm going to say this, and y'all might beat me up for it, but just know I got my conceal and carry. Anyway, the girls are naked at brunch. Yikes. Like, the fact that you can't even go somewhere with your man without somebody's ass cheeks walking past your plate of pancakes, hash browns, and scrambled eggs. And so, like, the girls are naked at brunch. Like, I went to brunch with this man. Cute little brunch date. The girls are walking past our tables with the mini skirts where the ass cheeks was hanging out the bottom, bro. And I said, it is 3 p.m. Ain't that much trying to be cute in the world for me to want to go to brunch naked. I'm sorry. Do what you want. That's not my issue. If you bought it, you want to wear it, fine. But I'm the type of girl, I'll be thinking about the elderly, kids being present, you know, people in relationships being present, making men uncomfortable if they with their lady. Like, that's what I be thinking. It's not about insecurity. It's just having respect for those around you. And the fact that this culture, this whole culture, is like, it's coming outside before dark. Like, but the thing is, y'all want men to respect y'all. It's like, woo! Who gonna tell her? Let me hold your hand when I say this. You don't have to be naked to get attention. You don't have to be naked to get attention.
Shimon!
But anyway, I feel like we need a modesty.
Shimon! Ooh-wee! We ready. Boy, look at him.
Shut your mouth and keep on talking.
Hey, man. Listen. At the end of the day, the day gonna end. You dig? I'm just saying, bro. Like, this sister, she wasn't playing, bro. And this is what I'm saying. We try to tell you. We try to get out ahead of the shit. And you like, oh, no, it ain't that serious. Oh, y'all tripping. Y'all some hoteps. And, you know, anytime you try to tell somebody something that's going to help them better themselves, like the children they are, they lash out at you.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? I can tell someone who is mature by the way they respond to criticism. Straight up. You know, that's why you see some people that I used to talk to, I don't speak to anymore. Because they don't have the intellectual capacity to talk on my level. You understand what I'm saying? And yes, exactly who you're thinking about, those are the niggas I'm talking about. You understand? Because some people are just not worthy. You know, it's casting pearls before swine. And women are starting to see this, you know, because before they bought into the bullshit, oh, they hate women, and oh, they attacking the women's, and oh, Lord. Now, you can't even enjoy your damn pancakes and eggs without some bitch walking by putting her ass cheeks on your man's plate. Now it's real. You understand what I'm saying? It's disrespectful. You understand? It's disrespectful, and it shows that you have no awareness of your surroundings. There were certain things that we didn't do around elders. There were certain things that we didn't do around small children growing up. You understand? Because we were taught better than that. Yeah. Now, this generation that was raised by Instagram and goddamn, you know, reality TV, they think that anything is appropriate anywhere, anytime. I was talking to a sister earlier today, talking about the way that some of the women, the young women, come to church. She's talking about brunch. This sister I was talking to earlier that just got out of Mount Calvary, she was leaving Mount Calvary, and I had a conversation with her. She's talking about how the young girls come to church with their ass hanging out, this, that, and the third, and pastor says, come as you are. I have a problem with that. And if pastor got a problem with me, then so be it. Let the chips fall where they may. But, you know, when I understand the concept behind it, you know, come as you are, you know, and when you read the word, that's going to change you. And that may happen in some instances. But, you know, these children today, you know, they weren't raised with the frame of reference to understand what is appropriate. Many of them. Yeah. You understand? And that makes them think that everything is appropriate. And if they think that everything is appropriate, anytime you try to correct them, it's just going to be an assault or an affront to what they think is right. And, you know, if you monitor social media and you understand what the rules are, what's right is what the other niggas on social media say is right. For the most part. And, you know, that's just not very conducive, you know, to wanting to do better. If you want to do, come as you are within reason. But if you want to really do better and you want to really learn about the church, you're going to dress yourself respectfully before entering it.
Correct.
Or when you're around a group of people in the middle of the afternoon, you're going to put on some damn clothes. You know, who are you trying to impress? Exactly. Correct. Because I know that there's a lot of men that go to brunch. Okay, cool. And this is a whole other show, but I just want to make this point real quick, and I'll park my car. You know, intelligent guys that are quality guys, that are solid guys, if you walking past them with your ass cheeks hanging out, they don't want you anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's for the Pookies and Ray Rays. You know, that's for the low energy niggas. That's for the plantation bucks. You feel me? If you want to get a solid brother, those brothers ain't checking for you if you look like that. You know, the night I met my wife, I had some hood rat jump out in front of me and start twerking. I politely pushed her goofy ass out the way and went over to the bar to have a drink. And I watched the woman who was not my wife for a half an hour before I even said anything to her to make sure that she didn't act like that hoe that I just passed on the dance floor. That's what y'all got to understand. You're playing yourself. You want a good, like she said, you know, like the sister said, then you want a man to respect you. How? When you have no respect for yourself, and at hello, before hello, you're not only telegraphing to me, but to the world more broadly that you have no respect for yourself. Nigga gonna put you on a 60-day plan. If anything, he gonna put you on a 60-day plan. I'ma holler, take out a couple times, get them cheeks, send the ass on her way. I'm not advocating for that, but I'm telling you how women like that end up.
Yeah.
You know, if you carry yourself with no respect, but you look good and you got a nice body and you got a cute smile, but you're just stupid and you carry yourself with no respect, that's exactly how men are gonna do you. Then you're gonna be talking about, oh, men ain't shit. No. Quality men are not checking for you.
Yeah.
Just saying. So
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Look, I mean, if you, it stands to reason. Look, if you're applying for a job as a school teacher, highly doubt you're gonna show up looking like you about to go ahead and do some welding or show up to a construction site. You're not gonna pull up with your hard hat, with your little tool belt, whatever. And if you're applying for a job at a car dealership, I don't think you're gonna pull up looking like an Air Force pilot. You are showing up for the job you're applying for, and then you're getting upset when you get hired. I didn't want this job. I wanted to be such and such. I get that, ma'am.
Yeah.
However, the truth is, I was getting ready to put you on the night shift at Tootsie's. You were just booked for the night already. So this is the next best thing. I mean, you and people, and see, the funny thing is, people want to get into a whole back and forth about respectability politics and how, well, it shouldn't be that way. Okay, let's go along with that. It shouldn't be that way. You're right. We shouldn't be a society that does it. We should not judge people or look at people that way and make those hasty assumptions. You're absolutely right. Here's the problem. That's the way it is.
Yep.
So even best case scenario, let's say that your whole movement kicks off and you get your wish. Yay, we're no longer a society where we look at people and view them that way. That's going to take a couple generations to go down. If you're lucky, if the campaign and the marketing is really aggressive and everyone buys into it, it's going to take at least one full generation for that to go down. Problem is, you're not part of that generation. You're in this one. So you're going to have to fall on the knife and suffer and basically sacrifice yourself for that to go down in the future. You're not even going to get to enjoy any of the fruits and benefits you're here whining and complaining about. Which doesn't make sense, because right now you're advocating for yourself. You're not concerned about the future. You're upset about yourself and how you're being treated now. And if that's the hill that you're actually willing to die on for the sake of others, I really got to side eye you, because there's a lot more severe, dire issues in the world.
Right.
If that's what you think is most fitting for you to give your life for, yeah, says a whole ton about you. The right to showcase yourself as a whole entire harlot, it means the whole world to you. That's your life's mission. I must be showcased as a harlot, but treated like the Queen of England.
Stop.
You got mental problems.
Real talk.
Of the most severe kind. You pretty much said the whole thing that I was going to jump on. I'm not going to belabor the point and beat that dead horse more. But I do want to touch on what you said, because that bothered me. Because I hear that a great deal, and it's also about the whole people who never touch their Bible. They want to go ahead and dust it off for 3 seconds and pull out some little quip about, Bible says, come as you are, so stop talking about them like that. It says you must come as you are. Let me school you goofy idiots about something really quickly. There's a thing called context.
Yes.
When you read something, especially a book, now, for those people that have an eternal gripe and everlasting beef with Christianity and the Bible, some church mother told you something that you didn't like when you were 8 years old, and now you have a grudge against the church, or you want to debate things like, well, Jesus wasn't real because there's no Jesus back then. There was no letter J, so therefore there can't be no. For y'all niggas, I'm not talking to y'all. Y'all go that way. Leave me alone before I hurt your feelings, and then I make you want to come wait for me outside my house or something. Let's not do that. For everyone else that has a reasonable sense and logic, let's make this clear. When that text says to come as you are, they're not talking about come in your dollar store hooker outfit. They're not talking about going to the little fashion store across the street from the strip clubs, you know the ones I'm talking about, where they're advertising clothing specifically for the girls who are going to be working across the street at midnight. It's not talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Come as you are means come as you are spiritually.
There you go. Come on now.
For those people that feel guilty and like, well, you know, I messed up, I'm a sinner. I'm a sinner. I just robbed someone this morning. I just slept with someone's spouse last night or whatever. Let me get myself together first. Let me get myself clean first, then go before God. No, that's God saying, don't worry about getting yourself right internally. I'll take care of that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do it because if you could, you would have done it already by now.
Yeah.
I can do that. Don't worry about that. Just come here. I'll start the process and get you cleaned up, and we'll do that together. Don't worry about getting yourself right before you come to me. I'll handle that dirty work. Let me do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean show up in your 12 a.m. midnight best for King of Diamonds.
Precisely.
And that's BS anyways, and we know better, and I'll tell you why. Because when people talk about going to church, they'll make all kind of excuses, justifications for wearing these outfits they know they got no business wearing. But here's the thing. If good old Jim Crow Joe Biden goes ahead and sends you a little plane ticket, I want to go send Air Force One for you. I want you to come meet me and have breakfast, have brunch at 9 o'clock on the White House lawn, and Kama Sutra Harris is gonna be there, and the cabinet and everyone. If that's gonna be the case, they're not gonna be wearing them hooker outfits.
Precisely.
Nope. They're gonna go to the store and get something decent and appropriate if they don't have one at home. If they can't afford to do that, they're gonna go to their homegirl who has much better dress sense than them. They're gonna borrow something, but they're gonna find a way to be there appropriate. And wouldn't you know they're probably gonna come through looking all business casual?
You know it.
Wouldn't you know that? But when we talk about going to church, going to see God, who you're supposed to have reverence and respect for, you want to give him your leftovers, but you want to give Jim Crow Joey your best.
Well said. Well said.
I'm just saying.
What are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Check your insides. I don't know where or who you think you are, but you're not who you actually think you are. Check who you really are, what your motives are. Master says, come through, you're going to look your best. God comes through and says, come to me, and you say, well, here's what I got. Make it enough.
There you go. Says a lot about your priorities. I am stuck.
Oh, okay. I'll let him cook.
He cooked.
Oh, I'm done. Dinner served.
All right. So I did want to show this video of, we talk about, you know what, before I show that video, let me show the contrast of something else. All right. So as we know, we have talked about the Chris Brown situation a couple times on here. But we always had majority of the women that he had on his arm were pretty much real good looking women, right? You could say for the most part, he had good looking women that was going viral, taking pictures with them and everything, and they were losing their husbands behind it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, it could be subjective, but most people would sit back and say that this isn't a typical woman that everybody would go crazy for. So she was like, I told my boyfriend I needed the $1,000 to meet Chris Brown as a birthday gift. He gave me the money and everything was fine. On my birthday, I went to meet Chris Brown and we had a 30-minute date. I even took some pictures, which I sent my boyfriend. When I finally got home, I found my things outside with the message from him telling me to go continue my relationship with Chris Brown. I've been trying to reach him for weeks, but he's not picking up my calls. American lady Laments after her serious boyfriend broke up with her because she took a picture she took with Chris Brown. All right. So you have a man, and I'm not trying to be disparaging here. You have a man that loves you for who you are. He didn't complain about your weight. He didn't complain about how you look. He loved you for who you are. Whatever his reasons were was valid reasons for him, right? And you went and you took the $1,000 to go see Chris Brown. I don't know what this guy looks like, right? But I can pretty much tell you that this guy probably doesn't look like Chris Brown or gets any attention like Chris Brown.
Okay.
So it might be some insecurities about how he looked, right? Which some guys might have. But the fact of it is, regardless of it, you had a man that loved you for you and was willing to give you $1,000. Instead of you spending it on yourself, which he gave you the $1,000 for, you went to go hug up with another dude, which he felt was disrespectful, because at the end of the day, if I choose you, I should be your superstar. I should be the guy that you look up to and things like that.
Period.
It also makes him feel like if you got your money up, or if you felt like you didn't need him anymore, you can up and leave and go to the desired guy you wanted to go to that would not naturally pick you off rip. These are things that I'm just throwing out there for women to understand the different variations that a man goes through a man's mind. However you take it is how you take it. But I'm just giving you the different variations of what goes through a man's mind. You could have also used that money not only to help yourself, but came back with something that said, you know what, babe, I appreciate you so much. Here goes some Jordans, or here goes something. Maybe if he's a gamer, here's a game that you wanted, you know, or hey, I went out and got a favorite meal from your restaurant. Let's dine in tonight and eat this candlelit dinner from the restaurant, your favorite restaurant you like. There was no part of the inclusion with him to counterbalance what you did with Chris Brown, right? So that's another aspect of it that you didn't take in consideration. And when you came back after being on such a high horse, you came home to find your stuff outside. I don't know what it's going to take for people to understand that you're giving up your life of happiness for one night of pleasure, as far as getting the picture with a celebrity. Everybody's like, okay, it's a celebrity, you shouldn't react like that. Let me tell you something. The only difference between a celebrity and yourself is just stardom. There's a lot of people that are more talented than Chris Brown and probably never got to that level or didn't even want to get to that level. A lot of people got to understand about valuing their relationship and valuing their partner. It's not to say that you can't have a celebrity crush, but just know that what you got at home should be more valued than the crush. You seeing Chris Brown on TV is good enough. You being with the man that loves you and working on building your family and achieving that next level of life is once in a lifetime. Believe it or not. You can run across celebrities all the time. You can run across Chris Brown more than once in public. But to find somebody that levels up with you on the same level as you, that's a once in a lifetime thing. Don't jeopardize that for a night of fun. Understand who your mate is. Because clearly you guys don't understand y'all mate if every time y'all going out and y'all do this and your mate is leaving y'all don't understand y'all mate. Because if you did, you would understand that you have boundaries, right? And shout out to Bel-Air, because Bel-Air, I made a post today about Bel-Air, the series, and this season seems to be about boundaries. A lot of them are dealing with situations with their ex and their current. From Phil, which is the father, and the wife, Vivian, Will, his girl and his ex, and also with Carlton and his girl and his family, with his mother. So there's boundaries that everybody's dealing with. Oh, and what's his name? Jazzy Jeff and Coco Jones, which is Hillary, right? And her and he's her ex and her new fiance that she's married to. So they're all in this circle of boundaries. And y'all got to understand how deep this stuff gets. And I'm loving the direction that this show is going in, because it's showing you that you have to make some critical choices, or you're going to lose the person that fits real perfect in your life, the one that holds you down day in, day out, while these celebrities are running around the country meeting different people. And you have to value that person. I think we got away from valuing the people that really, really matter the most. So I land my plane on that, and I'll give it to you guys.
Woo! How long you got? Damn, I gotta consolidate this, boy, because man, this type of shit makes my head explode. There's no excuse. I mean, I know, Anthony, you're gonna be more politically correct, and that's why I'm here, right? You know I don't give a fuck. So I'm gonna just go ahead and make it plain. You dig? I'm gonna say what you probably wanted to say, but you're not gonna say because you're such a gentleman. I was just saying, fuck it. You dig?
Well, you be the bad guy. Yeah, you be the bad guy.
Listen, it is what it is. You know, you already aren't the ideal mate. You dig? You're not the ideal mate. You know, you're overweight, not particularly attractive. You know, you're just not the ideal mate. Again, I don't know how this guy looks. You understand what I'm saying? But we all know that in a relationship capacity, looks are more important on the woman. You understand? You're already, you know, not when people. I'm gonna approach it from the point of view of the average viewer on social media, because she did put her business on social media for everybody to see. She made her business everybody's business, right? Yeah. Okay, the average person's gonna look at this, looking like, yo, this girl is a strong 3 at her best. You understand what I'm saying? And on top of that, she found a man that's willing. That was breathtaking to me. Like, yo, you're willing to give your woman $1,200 to go meet some other man? Most niggas would have cussed your ass out. You understand what I'm saying?
Smooth
like,
out.
What are you talking about? The fact that you spend over $1,000 of your or someone else's hard-earned money to go meet another man, or that you want to, for me, that's a deal breaker in and of itself. You can get out my face. You understand? But okay, you're not ideal. You got this money out of this guy. He actually paid for it. That means he trusted your monkey mouth ass to go out there and not make a fool of him. That's what it means. You understand? And you went out there and you betrayed this man's trust. And not only did you do it, but you shared it to the world in true dumbass fashion. You can't make this shit up.
Yeah.
You know, like, really, like, where is your respect? You know, you out here hugging on some other man, talking about how you had a 30-minute date with him or whatever. No. And no, I don't believe in celebrity crushes. No, because the shit ends up like that. You understand? No, you don't have no celebrity crush. I don't have no goddamn celebrity crush. Are there celebrities that I think are attractive or whatever? I'm sure my wife thinks are attractive. Okay, whatever. You know, you can think people are attractive. But, you know, I've always felt uneasy about people who go on and I'll stop her up with a biscuit. Oh, Lord Jesus. Stop. And I'm talking about they do this shit in front of their man or in front of their woman. You know, I tear her up. What? And she's still sitting next to you?
Yeah.
You know, no. We don't need to be doing that, because it feeds into the problem that we already have with celebrity worship. We have a problem as a people with celebrity worship. We watch more TV than any other race. We listen to more media than any other race, particularly being on the internet, Instagram, and so forth and so on. We do that more than any other race. You can't absorb all of that media and not think that it's going to have an impact on you in some capacity.
Correct.
You understand? And so it ends up being where you're in this weird space where the things that you see on the internet become more important than the things that exist in real life. Many a time. And this is a pattern at this point. This dumbass didn't see all the other women that lost their man behind going to meet Chris Brown. That one hood rat that they had up there, she was bragging about it. Oh, I'll take 15 minutes with Chris Brown over my relationship with that sorry nigga any day. But you was with that sorry nigga before you went there.
Yeah.
You understand? It's this weird energy where it's become cool to be disrespectful, to be uncouth, to be unladylike, to just be a walking degenerate. You understand what I'm saying? These women out here, they don't really respect serious relationships or womanhood for that matter. You know, because you're also making a fool of yourself.
Correct.
You think that's a flex, and now your shit is outside and you gotta go stay at the Mission or wherever the hell you gotta go because you ain't got no man no more? You think that's a flex? You look like a damn fool. But as long as you got some attention on the internet, it's cool. You just can't fix stupid on that level. And it all goes back to vetting. My wife wouldn't even, it would never come up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would never come up. It would never even be a conversation. She wouldn't ask me no dumb shit like that. Because she has respect for herself and she has the utmost respect for me. You know, she won't even go out of the house without asking if what she's wearing is okay with me. That's the type of women you brothers need to be seeking. Women who value your opinion over everything. That picture and that whole interaction with Chris Brown just shows me this woman did not value this nigga's opinion on anything whatsoever. He was a tool that provided money, sounds like, when she needed to do whatever, XYZ, blase, squaze, and whatever he thought about anything just didn't matter. You should know that before involving yourself with a woman like that. She shouldn't have made it past the second date. But I digress. I mean, you know, niggas out here, they just gonna do what they want to do. They love to play in the trash. I'm just
maybe the trash guy. Maybe he trashed you. You know, maybe two trashes was together, but then she just went and just really fucked the trash up. Like,
that's trash, bro. Like, it's despicable. I hate to see. And the brother who I was speaking to the other day, he had a similar situation like that. And I'm like, yo, like, I just, the more I listen to, and that goes back to that post that I made earlier this week about Jill Scott talking about how, you know, she determines if someone is the one within 6 months or less. And I just put it out there, you know, that's probably why she has so many problems in her relationships. Her dating life is a disaster. And you would be surprised how many people got on there agreeing with Jill Scott. Look, if you happen to be the exception to the rule and you find the one that is the one within 6 months, great. But that's the exception to the rule. That should not be the rule. I should be able to decide if this same one is less or more. You understand what I'm saying? I should not be that person. Okay, if this person is good or bad within 6 months, I shouldn't have to make it a point to make that decision within that time frame. I should allow myself a little more time to make sure that this person is who they say they are. You don't get to really know a person until about 3 months. Then you need some time for them to show you consistency to prove to you that they are who they say they are. I'm just saying.
So you know, shout out to I don't know how to say the name.
ZZDR Forever.
It's something. The initials is GZDR.
Yeah, GZDR Forever, whoever that is.
Okay. Whatever that acronym is. We welcome you. Thank you for first time. This is the first time we've seen you. We don't know if you came in on another profile, but we love your commentary and thanks for joining us. Would you go on the same rant if the celebrity was Meg Thee Stallion or Cardi B, and they also hugged her up the same way? Yes, of course.
Absolutely.
Hold on. I think they're making a sexuality argument. Like if it was a woman and they hugged up on them, they hugged up on a woman the same way as they hugged up on this man.
It don't matter because they both paid, so it's consensual. So you have to throw that out. It's consensual. They pay Meg the same amount of money, and they're doing whatever poses that they do, regardless of it. We don't genderify it.
No, I think I think he or she, whoever it is, I think they're talking about because the main thing we were hammering was the respect issue about the disrespect of the partner.
Right.
Right. But absolutely, it's the same. Respect is not in relationships. Respect is not a gender-based thing. The same way how women can disrespect their men can disrespect the women, and that happens too. And if there's a dude out here that's so goofy enough to go ahead and he has a good woman that he's with, he's so goofy enough to first off pay a rack, or if it's $5, it doesn't matter.
Right.
If you so goofy out here, call yourself living out a fantasy, hugging up on a female artist,
it's ridiculous.
Knowing that it's disrespectful, you gripping the ass, you got your mouth on a titty, whatever it is you do, and just being disrespectful, knowing full well you got a whole significant other that's going to see this, or know that she wasn't, either way, then absolutely. She should not be sticking around with your clown behind, because it's the same thing. There might be different responsibilities in a relationship that you have based on your gender perspectives. Men are protectors, providers. Women are the caretakers or whatever. That may be the case. But there are certain things that are universal. And the same way how a woman should be making her man feel secure in a relationship, not do anything to cross boundaries or make her man looking out here looking stupid and everything, he owes that to her as well too.
Right.
She should not have to sit back and see her man all hugged up on Cardi B, licking on her neck and doing all kind of crazy stuff. We got her on all kinds of suggestive positions out here. With a whole woman at home looking stupid, everyone knows that's her man out here. She just blushing and feeling embarrassed. That's universal. Respect is universal.
Agreed.
Period. And so we would still be going in either way.
Right. And furthermore, to drill down on that point, when Chance the Rapper was out here, all up on this chick and the women, see, this is the problem that we have too. There's this double standard, because the women will go and they'll call that insecure when, the men or a man gets upset about, his woman hugged up on Chris Brown. But then when Keke Palmer's out here, all up on Usher or whatever the case may be, that's nothing, and then when Chance the Rapper is dancing up on this girl at Carnival, she need to leave him. Come on, man. No, we don't play that gender bias bullshit here. It's every bit as wrong when Chance the Rapper does it as it is when this woman did it with Chris Brown or whatever the case may be, because respect is respect. And if we want to get to a point where we're repairing black love, because that's what we want to do. We want to usher in this paradigm shift that repairs black love and relationships. And everybody has to respect everybody. Listen, women inbox me all the time saying crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? And I don't entertain that shit. I never have. I'm happily married. I let women know that shit at the door. They start giggling and all this old shit. And if I'm taking pictures, it's going to be some buddy shit. I'm going to take the same type of pictures with a female as I would take with Bobby or Anthony. Period.
LeBron James style.
You dig? That's what I'm saying. It's respect. You know what I'm saying? And we generally, people have lost respect for relationships. They don't think relationships are that serious. I don't need this person. They ain't all that. That attitude. Well, if that's your approach, then that's how people are going to meet you. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, that's another black couple destroyed on account of some nonsense that didn't have to happen. If she would have just showed a little respect. That's all she had to do.
Exactly.
We have to start being more mindful of. It's crazy how there's a lot of things that used to be basic that now seem to be rare and at a premium now. the basics of the golden rule: do unto others as you would want to have them do unto you.
Mm-hmm.
You want respect. We were just talking about that before earlier about how you comport yourself. You want to be respected. You want to have respect of other people. But yet people want to go ahead and not give out respect. It's almost as if we're trying to get as much as we can while giving as little as we can.
Mm-hmm.
That's the major problem. This very selfish, self-centered, narcissistic mentality that a lot of people have, where they're trying to get the most for the least. I want you to give me everything. What's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine. Right? We got to kill that. If anything, it should be the other way around. And if you have, people will complain all day long about how garbage the dating pool is. It's not inaccurate at all. But then you go ahead and you get a relationship with someone who we assume is worth something because you're with them. And if they're not worth anything, why are you with them?
Mm-hmm.
But you get a relationship with a halfway decent person, knowing that was hard to come by because of the trash that's out there. And this is how you treat them.
And you squander it like a
You
asshole.
treat the relationship, you treat this good person like they're disposable.
That's crazy.
To take a picture with Chris Brown, who's not going to, I mean, I'm sure, he appreciates, that man took probably God knows how many hundreds and hundreds of pictures in one night with different fans. He's not going to remember you after the third, fourth, fifth picture.
Right.
And that was a moment you remember for the rest of your life. He forgot that 30 seconds after.
And let me add this. I don't think that it's the fact that she took a picture with Chris Brown that's the issue. I think it's the type of picture that she took with Chris Brown. You understand? Like, we had an event not too long ago, where my wife was taking pictures with, the people who run her salon. I talked about this before. One of them is a male. And I mean, it didn't look like anything. It could have been that guy. It could have been her father. Wouldn't have known the difference from the pose. But women know, and people know, men when they do it too, you know when you're doing some slick shit. You know when you're doing something that you shouldn't do. If your woman was there, or if your man was there, your ass would be in church hug distance, when you're taking this picture. You know this.
Or you'd be sweating bullets while you're doing it, like
sweating bullets one way or the other. You know when you're doing some slick shit. So let's stop pretending and acting like 7-year-olds out here. Like, oh, I ain't know. Yes, your ass did know. Because, nigga, I have this rule. If I'm talking to a woman, I should be interacting with her the same way that I would if my wife, or even worse, a group of my wife's friends were across the room watching us. If it don't look like that, like it would look then I'm doing something wrong. That goes for everybody. We got to respect our relationships, man, because real talk, we all we got. You know what I'm saying? Black men need black women and vice versa. So let's stop pretending that it's just all good and we don't need each other. That's bullshit.
Good people and good relationships, not even just romantic ones, but good friendships. If you have good people, period, in your life in one capacity, form, or another,
real talk.
In today's day and age, that those relationships and those people should not be seen as disposable. And if you do see them that way, again, it all comes back to self. What does that say about you, where you feel like good people are easily cast aside, can be done any old kind of disrespectful way? What kind of person are you? Male or female? Again, it's not gender-based. This is period.
So I would say I always advise men to try to have the mindset as you operating as if you're in the room with your woman, right? Because you think about it, when you're out here operating and you're in a relationship and you're moving the way you're moving and you're not thinking of your mate, you're training your brain to act single out in public and then be in a relationship in private. I saw a video the other day. This is why I say you got to know your mate. I saw a video the other day of a couple, black man and black woman, and they were going over and they were talking about church hugs, like side by side church hugs. Is that appropriate or isn't it appropriate? I think they were discussing about how, you know, the different hugs, right? One was like, one hug was the straddle, right? She straddles onto you. If you are with yeah, like you know how, say you with your girl is in front of you. Say your wife is in front of you, right? And she jumps up and puts her legs around your waist and hugs you.
That's a hug?
They were talking about the different hugs, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Stiff arm.
They're basically trying to show you what level that they are comfortable with. You feel me?
Okay.
And they said that one, shit, you might as well pack your bags. They both were saying at the same time, you might as well pack your bags and get the fuck out the door.
Right.
So the church hug, the wife was like to hug side by side. She was like, that's fine. The husband was like, hell no. You don't need no hug like that. So she was like, all right, cool, that's fine. You know, but I think what they were doing was basically acknowledging their boundaries while putting it out in the world to see that this is what you do. You pretty much vet the type of mate you have because you don't want to assume something is cool and it ends up being a violation or making them feel like you have crossed boundaries. So
Agreed.
I say to a lot of people, you know, try to condition yourself to when you're out here in public, to the way you are moving is how you would move if your wife or your man is next to you.
Yes.
A lot of times people are out here moving single, and then they realize, shit, I didn't even realize that I put myself in a situation because all it takes is one picture.
Yeah.
They say pictures are worth 1,000 words. Doesn't mean that it's correct words, but it is 1,000 words. You know what I'm saying? I even had a friend of mine that got caught up in the moment and didn't realize that he allowed a woman to go over the boundaries while his people was in the room. And
how you do that?
It caused something so major that it went all the way left and it never got right. So I say that because a lot of times we'll blame liquor, we'll blame, oh, you know, that's friends, we all know each other and things like that. It does not matter.
True.
Because the feelings of your mate is what really matters. And once you make your mate feel some type of way, it's going to send a bad presence for you for the rest of the relationship duration.
Yeah.
A lot of times people don't realize that just because your mate doesn't say something that you think it's okay. You know what I'm saying? And you get caught up into that thinking that it's okay because they don't say it. A lot of times your mate aren't confrontational. And a lot of times, nigga, you supposed to have fucking common sense. That's just common sense.
Yes.
And remember, at the end of the day, if you fuck up like that, and I'm just giving y'all free game, if you mess up like that with your woman in the room, you destroyed her trust when you're not in the room.
Come on now.
Ultra facts.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Big facts.
If you don't have presence to understand your mate is here and conduct yourself like that,
right?
Imagine when she's not there.
That's what she's thinking.
That's what she's thinking.
Exactly what she's thinking.
All right.
Yeah.
So I just want to give you guys free game on that. You know, it's a wonderful topic. I appreciate the question. You know, you guys keep it coming. We love it. I do want to get into this last couple of things real quick, and then we can get up out of here.
What you got? What you got?
All right. So we got this, right? A woman faked her death to break up with her boyfriend because he was broke but now she wants him back. Why? She says, I dated a guy in 2001 when who was kind. Huh? Oh, 2021. I'm sorry. My bad. I dated a guy in 2021 who was kind and had a good heart, but was always broke. Unsure of how to end things, I faked my own death, unaliving by texting him as my cousin and telling him his only family could attend funeral date due to regulation. After blocking him, I monitored his posts from a fake account and saw he was devastated. Luckily, we had no mutual friends, so my active profile remained hidden. Now that he's doing well and has a great job, I want to reconnect, but don't know how since he thinks I'm dead. Help me because I love this man. So this was the most asinine shit ever, but I'll let you guys jump on that.
Back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. Back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. I said,
what, bro?
Michael Jones knew about something, boy.
You can't make this shit up. In my Kevin Samuels voice. I mean, this is like the goofiest shit I've ever heard, bro. Like, real talk. God bless her. You know, God bless her heart. You know, because you just can't fix stupid on that level. And look, man, I say this, you know, when you're involved with somebody and there's a money situation, that is fixable. You know, you need to have a dialogue and talk about it. I'm not going to say that her concerns before were not real concerns. I can't rock with nobody that's broke all the time, and I'm a man. If you a woman, I know you can't rock with no dude that's broke all the time. That is a problem. No doubt about it. But that's not the way you go about it. Like, there's such a thing as being dead wrong. Right? There's wrong and then there's dead wrong. Bitch, if you faking your death to get out of a relationship, the ridiculousness meter is just through the damn roof, bro. Like, you can't, there's no way you can explain that shit. Now she talk about she want him back. So you're gonna come back from the dead? What are we doing here, bro? She really put this on social media. I'm convinced either she has severe mental disabilities or she just wanted to be seen. She's trying to be funny. You know, nobody's that stupid. No, even in 2024, nobody's that damn stupid. You dig? No. Come on, man. No, because it was just foolish. I mean, the level of deception that you had to go through, if this is really a true story, the level of deception that you had to go through to pull off that stunt, you can't be trusted by anybody. I wouldn't trust this woman house sitting my dog. Like, what? She's capable of anything. She's crazy. She's fat shit crazy. And, you know, the fact that as men, we're supposed to just overlook that. You know what I'm saying? Like, anytime you criticize women, you know, here come the estrogen police, you know, talking about how you hate women. You got women out here doing shit like this. I mean, look, that's not the only crazy story that I've heard. And I'm just convinced that people don't have that much imagination. A lot of these women do crazy shit. Okay? I know a woman personally that got pregnant from a guy, didn't want to stress him out or didn't want to make him mad at her, so went and screwed another guy she had no interest in just to tell him that the baby was his. So she could get the abortion money. The other guy still don't know she was ever pregnant from him. This is the kind of shit that some of these women do. You know, and when we criticize it, we're within our means. Dude, brothers, I can't say this enough. Men, you have to be very careful. The most critical decision that a lot of us will ever make is the type of woman that we choose to spend the rest of our lives with. that woman is going to be the person that you come home to, that's either going to comfort you or going to bring you to a war zone every day. That woman is the person that's going to be the person who raises your children, the first teacher of the child, by the way. She's probably going to spend most of the time with the child, you understand, with your kids. So, I mean, you know, this person is going to be the one who, you know, maintains the atmosphere in the home. You know, that's important stuff. And if you choose someone like that, can you imagine what she'd be like in a marriage? I'm just saying, I don't know this woman, but just based on that bullshit that she pulled and the fact that she saw it okay to post on social media, you got to think about the mentality that informs a lot of the actions some of these people take.
Correct.
You understand? And that's just all bad news. There are no redeeming values that I detect that this woman has just based on that one thing, and I've never met her before. Brothers, beware. That's all I can say, man. I'll land my plane there.
Well said. Drake, you got something for?
God. Yeah, I got something for her, all right. I have a nice lengthy list of various therapists you need to touch base with, and possibly a contact for the University of Miami so they can get like a nice in-depth study to find out how this thing that sits north of her eyebrows works or doesn't work.
It's insane. It's insane.
She needs to donate her brain to science. There's a lot of work they have to uncover. That's a whole mission right there. You know, it's crazy, and I've got to be honest. And I'm not saying this as a as a married man. I'm saying this as a brother who's out here in the field, in the trenches, on the hunt like the rest of the brothers are, but who's still optimistic, who still knows that what is being sought can be found. At the same time, I gotta be honest. I gotta keep it 1,000. It is scary as hell to be a man still trying to find your significant other out here. You know, I'm not saying that to discourage anybody or to make you feel hopeless, but it's some terrifying shit that's out here.
Yeah.
Like, real talk. Like, I hope that somehow he would see that and recognize who this person is, because God forbid, I don't know, man. I'm just gonna leave that alone because that's a whole Pandora's box. I'm not even gonna try to get into. I have a feeling I might break my brain trying to get into that. But you know, like y'all was talking about, Major, vetting is so essential. There's a lot of mental illness. There's a lot of trauma, unhealed trauma. There's a lot of damage and issues and broken illogic wandering out here that's hidden behind some attractive faces and some unattractive faces. Let me put that out there too, because we're not gonna make it sound like all the beautiful, attractive women are the nut jobs, and it's the women that's hitting the face that are the answer. Let's not do that. Because because please believe, if you think that discovering that the attractive beauty on your arm is a psychopath is a bad experience, imagine dropping your standards against someone that you know you're unattracted to, think it's gonna be better, only to find out it's the same way. Now you're gonna be angry. I took this L I got with this, so you're gonna be swinging the air like Trey, you're Boys in the Hood. So let's not do that. But you got to really be intentional about what you're doing out here. Now more than ever, this is not the time to be thinking with your Johnson. This is not the time to be out here being reckless, being crazy with the moves you make. You have to be logical, planned, sober, and calculating out here. Not looking to deal with women in a negative way, or to be dishonest, or to be unscrupulous with them.
Right.
But we're talking about self-preservation. If Shorty out here faking her whole entire death because she lacks the maturity and the emotional intelligence, the emotional intelligence. I pause for a second. That's those people who it's for. They gonna get it. Those who's not, it's gonna bypass them. Just because she doesn't have the wherewithal to have an adult conversation and say, you know what, this isn't working, or for God's sake, to just ghost the man at best. I mean, God, if you can't do anything else, you got to do all this because you're afraid of having uncomfortable conversations, or in your mind, you thought that this was a bridge you'd be able to repair later on if it worked out. The person that is capable of anything, because that's the way their mind. Not because she's showing that she's violent or aggressive or hostile or disrespectful, but because that's how she thinks. She thought that faking a whole entire death was a rational, intelligent, witty, and commendable way of getting out of a relationship she didn't want to be in anymore. And not because she was being abused, not because he was attacking her or violent with her, or cheating on her, nothing to the fact, just because he doesn't make enough money for me. He's always broke. What's going to happen when a legitimate, actual issue pops up?
Come on now.
She going to launch a whole terrorist attack or something? I mean...
Hey, real talk.
In 99.9% of cases, faking your death is probably as extreme as it gets for anything.
Right.
If you jump to the nuclear button, when a slight change in the wind comes about,
come on now.
When turbulence hits, we might need to all find the nearest shelter or find a bunker somewhere.
That's some Carly Russell shit.
She does not need to be seeking a relationship. Again, I'm not saying this to be funny. If this is legitimate, or for anyone that thinks of that, she does not need to be seeking a relationship unless it's a relationship with a psychotherapist. Actually, I take that back. With a psychiatrist. She needs someone that has the ability to not only diagnose, but to write her prescriptions. She needs to be taking pills.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. The end. That's it.
I
hope that's fake, but real life is so much. Real life is way weirder than fiction. I don't know if Stephen King could come up with something like that. I don't know.
Well, the thing about it is, when I bring things on here, whether it's real or fake, there are people out here that think like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I use it to really address the people that really think like that. Because there's a lot of people that do weird shit. We live in a weird society with weird thinking people. They don't think logically, So, you guys hit it on the head. My point was really where Bobby took it was, at what point do you feel is the breaking point for you, instead of working on it, to just bail and leave ship? And it's kind of sad, because if this is real, then my heart goes out to the guy, because the guy, even though she said he's broke, that doesn't, and that's another thing you ladies got to understand. Just because a woman say he's broke, what kind of broke is he?
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah.
What kind of broke is he? Because he might be broke to your standards, but he might be living pretty good for himself.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
That's real.
Because he can't buy you a Birkin bag, he's broke. So you got to watch those type of things. And if he was that kind of guy to be broke, why didn't you put in an action plan with him? I can understand women that put in an action plan with a guy and he still hasn't gone through with the action plan, and then she feels like she's wasting years, and then she jumps ship. She says, hey, I can't do this no more. I respect women like that come up front and say, listen, I poured into you. We tried everything. You're not doing what you need to do. And there's some guys out there that do drag their feet, even with help. Then I can understand that. But if you don't put no action plan, you say he broke, and you just come up with this crazy concoction of a story and say that you died and he was heartbroken, that means he really loved you. And you didn't care anything about his feelings, because you know what was so crazy and so scary about it, and a lot of women, y'all got to take this in consideration. When you do things like that, You don't know how it affects the next person.
True.
What if she would have been watching that man's page and he found out she died and he went and took his life?
Yeah, could have happened.
How would that make you? How would that make you feel? So be very mindful. You know, be upfront and tell people so that way they know that they can go through it with the proper therapy, get over it, and then be a wonderful mate for somebody else.
Right.
You know, I think that was very cowardly for you to do that. And we got to be very mindful because there's other people's feelings that get into play about that. But we never care about the guy's feelings. Just like I talked about earlier, there's guys out here that just have to, you know, close the door and let it all out, you know, because they don't get no appreciation for the things that they do. The minute you cannot perform as a man, some women jump ship. You could be slaving for a woman, and she gets whatever she wants and jump ships to the guy she really wanted. But you put in your blood, sweat, hours, paycheck, working, and you invested in this woman for her to just jump ship. And you got to sit there and hold the empty.
And let's not forget.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's not forget, you know, it sounds extreme. And, you know, I joked earlier that this is not serious because it's just so breathtakingly stupid. But Carly Russell did some shit almost exactly like that.
Yeah.
Well,
remember Carly Russell went out talking about how she made up this imaginary baby that was wandering on the freeway and somebody snatched the baby and she went after him and they kidnapped her and all this old shit. She made up this elaborate story about being kidnapped and nothing ever happened. You understand what I'm saying? It was a big ass lie, a big old stank lie that she made up because she wasn't getting what she thought she should get out of her man.
Correct.
Ladies, this ain't it. This ain't it. This is what makes you a low quality woman.
Definitely.
You know, these type of shenanigans. Not a bad looking sister. I'm sure on the surface she's probably a very nice person, but she has a lot of personal work that she needs to do before she's ready to get in some type of romantic involvement with anyone.
I agree 1,000%. And with that being said, we're gonna show you guys this last video, and then I have my boys take us out. But I want to show you, before I show you this video, I want you guys to understand, if you are out there looking for love, if you are out there seeking a personal mate, they're in your face. They're in your inbox. They're probably in your classroom. They're probably in your friend zone that you friend zone. They are probably best friend's friend, or they might be a friend of a relative. Or you might meet them online, chopping it up through a conversation in the comments section. Might be inside a bar, might be out there in the library, might be in a classroom, might be at a family function. You might run into somebody, and don't take your eyes off the prize. Always value somebody. If you see somebody you like, go after them. Don't waste time. Your job out here is to link up and build a foundation. Time is ticking. This world is getting real crazy, and the only way to survive it is with two of y'all together. The man and the woman, masculinity, femininity, the powers of the two combined will protect you from everything in this world. All right? So I say that because I want you to see this video and understand the powers. Don't look at a potential mate through the eyes of your friends, through the eyes of your family members, through the eyes of your mother and your father. Look at that mate through your eyes, because at the end of the day, this is a person that you select that fits in your system, or if you're a woman, you're fitting in his system, and you guys are going to grow and build together. And nobody knows how you are supposed to grow but you, especially with the mate you select. All right? With that being said, here we go.
What's down with it?
What's down? Look, we the owners of Cafe Bourbon Street.
Yes.
I'm Janessa.
I'm Markel.
I'm gonna let you answer that.
I slid in them DMs on Facebook in about 2010.
Ooh, long time ago.
2010. Yeah. We've been together since 16, since we met.
Mm-hmm.
Where I met you at? Oh, I took you to McDonald's.
Yeah.
First time I met her, took her to McDonald's. Yep. And now we're here. We got our own restaurant.
Right. Ooh, my favorite item on the menu gotta be the Bourbon Street shrimp basket.
Sheesh. I would say jambalaya egg rolls, because my wife invented that. Everything she make, I just, it's just so good.
I already know what you're gonna say.
Go ahead.
My favorite is the churro. But what's your favorite?
Strawberry crunch. Strawberry crunch beignets. It's our top selling too.
Ooh.
That's easy for me. It's our buttermilk ranch.
I knew you was gonna say ranch.
I'm a ranch head. And it's made from scratch with fresh herbs, all the secret stuff, and we don't buy a ranch.
You can't go wrong with the ranch. You can't go wrong with it. I do love our ranch, but of course bourbon sauce.
Her favorite bourbon, my favorite ranch. Our top selling combination of sauce is bourbon ranch.
He came up with that, by the way.
Yeah, I came up with that. Yo, this too good together. Kind of like us, you know what I mean? It's because we serve real New Orleans food by real New Orleans.
Man. I love the chemistry that they have, the fluidity that they have. It just goes to show you the genuine character that they fell in love with. And they build a foundation. They got a restaurant together booming out there in Louisiana, right? And they don't look like your typical image that everybody say they want to look like, or the type they want, or the one that your friend, you bring him home and the girl like, man, what you gonna do with him? She didn't worry about none of that.
Right.
He jumped in her DM. She liked what he was doing. She saw that he was into her, and she was like, yo, we gonna lock in and build an empire together. They got their little princess in their arm. The way she says, oh, he created this sauce, that was him. And then he says, oh, she created that, and that's my wife. Our restaurant, everything pairs together just like we pair together. The love, the energy, you can see it's authentic. It's not nothing fabricated for the camera. They flow off each other. They just made for each other, man. So shout out to them. Definitely, if I'm in New Orleans, I definitely go check them out.
Yeah.
And if I see them in person, definitely show them much love.
Hey, what's the name of that restaurant? I'm trying to look them up right now.
What was it called again? Hold on. I can tell you right now.
Cause I'm fat. I heard good food. I heard bourbons, and I heard beignets.
And now I'm gonna keep it a buck, man. I gotta make a trip to New Orleans now.
Me and Louisiana long.
I'm Markel.
I'm gonna let you answer that.
Cafe Bourbon Street.
Cafe Bourbon Street. Yeah, gonna make it do what it do, baby.
Woo. Bruh.
La zelle les bon tempoulé.
Bruh, you could feel the love jump out of the damn video, bruh. Like, yo, it just made you smile. Like, damn, they love each other. That's what I like to see.
Correct.
Yeah.
And like you say, they don't look like your typical perfect couple. You know what I'm saying? But they're perfect for each other. Peep, what did he say? The first date he took her where? To McDonald's. Didn't matter.
You can't do that.
You can't do that, right? You can't even take a girl to Cheesecake Factory on the first date. So they say he took her to McDonald's. They're happy. I mean, bouncing off the walls happy. And they own their own restaurant together. That is so beautiful. The little princess in there that made you feel great. And one thing that I really, really loved about it, this couple is undeniably black. Like they are, and this is the thing, ever since the whole Drake shit popped off, everybody's talking about colorism and you're accusing Drake of not being black and all that. No, nigga. No. It has nothing to do with his complexion. Because you got dark-skinned Negroes that, act like white people in black people clothing. That act like white people in black people's clothing. Shout out Candace Owens. Shout out Clarence Thomas. Shout out Larry Elder. I can do this all day. You understand what I'm saying? So no, it's not about that. These are two very light-skinned people. Is anybody questioning whether or not they're black? You dig? No. You know what I'm saying? It's just a feeling. You know what I'm saying? It's a vibe when you connect with somebody that's of your same culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were blackety black. From the way they talk to the way they reacted to the items on the menus to the way they going back and forth. It's just a thing. It's a cultural thing. When you around your peoples. Period. And, the fact that, they own their own business, that's a huge thing. People out here going through all this joblessness and, the markets are doing this, the markets are doing that. But when you open a successful business with your husband or wife, and you both are focused like a laser on the success of that entity. Shout out Turkey Leg Hut. Shout out to that restaurant and others. That really, really can pay some serious dividends. You know what I'm saying? And this is, if you ask about couples goals, that looks a lot more like couples goals to me than Jada and Will ever did. You dig? For those of you that like to put your couples goals eggs in the basket of what the latest celebrity is doing. You know what I'm saying? Those two people legitimately look happy. You can feel the love and the chemistry when they're talking and they're in each other's presence. That's beautiful, bro. Like, I love it. I want to see more of it. And I want to go to that restaurant. I got to go to New Orleans now because I've been to Houston.
Yeah.
And, bro, I'm going to tell you, people say New Orleans got the best food in the country. Houston got something. Houston got something.
I've also heard that, too.
Yeah.
Yo, the best food I've ever had in my life is in Houston. I'm just saying. Okay.
I have some real good food in Louisiana. There's still more places that I want to go, but they really good food there.
Okay, I gotta take a trip out there. I've never been.
One of my biggest regrets, because I've been wanting to hit up Louisiana for decades, like literally. One of my biggest regrets is that I never got to go before Katrina hit, and not that Louisiana is any less than since that storm, but I'm very much an artist at heart. And so architecture and things like that are big for me. And one of the reasons I wanted to go to Louisiana, to New Orleans, was because of that French-infused architecture and everything. I really wanted to go see those buildings, really go by some of those crypts and those cemeteries and just look at all the elaborate design or whatever. And a lot of that's been destroyed. The spirit is still there. And I still want to go just as bad, but it'll always hurt me when I go knowing that I didn't get a chance to see her before that damage hit. So that's always going to be something that, I carry with me. But I can't wait to visit. I'm looking forward to it. I know that it's going to be a legendary time when I finally do touch down there in the boot. I know we're going to have a good old time down there.
Yeah.
But as far as that video goes, big ups to them. I can tell it's, a lot of, in this era where a lot of things are done just for likes on social media, and there's a lot of moments and videos that are just contrived and just, just put together for the hell of it. You can feel and just soak up the sincerity in that video. They really, really, really love each other. I can feel how loved that child is. That child's practically spoiled as far as attention goes. There's not a whole bunch. I can tell there's not a whole bunch of back and forth between them where that's upsetting the child. The child, so full of love, all about daddy. Now wants some mommy. Had a mommy, now wants some daddy. Just trying to get all that they can out of the both of them.
Right.
But what really sold it to me is I'm looking at her, and I'm seeing the way she looks at him. That look in her eye, that genuine adoration. I love this man. He's been great to me. I'm so blessed to have him, to be with him. I love this vision that we are taking on. You can see that in her eyes. And I've never been one to go along with that whole nonsense about happy wife, happy life. That's ridiculous. We know that it's happy spouse, happy house.
There you go.
But at the same time, especially nowadays when everything is tailored towards telling women that your happiness It's supposed to come before any and everything. If you feel upset for 3 seconds, that's a major thing that needs to be acted on immediately. And in this era we're in, where women are encouraged to just press the demolition button on a whim, it says a lot when a woman has that kind of look in her eyes. They've been together for a while, obviously. The child is young. They've been together. You said that they were, I think he reached out to her in 2010. He said they got married in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are. That's almost about
6 years.
Almost a decade. That's 6 years, almost a decade later. And she still has that same look in her eye that she probably had way back then. That says a lot.
Yeah,
so I'm very happy for them. I'm very proud of them. And again, just taking a big old dump all over what these modern folks are talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I repeat, I am not advocating for anybody to take anyone out on the first date to McDonald's. I'm not doing it because I personally don't eat McDonald's myself. I'm definitely not going to take someone out there just to prove a point.
Right.
But at the same time, please, let's understand the purpose of a date. I don't know if parents are teaching this to their children. I don't know. But for those who missed that class, if it was, let's have a recap. The purpose of a date is to get to know a person. That's the purpose. It's not to go someplace fancy that costs a lot of money, that's got great ambiance like that, where you can take pictures on your social media and get likes and comments and whatever, or you can just dress up and look and feel great. No. The purpose of a date, at least the first date for God's sakes, is to get a sense of this person.
Right.
Maybe we've only been talking on the phone, maybe we just mentioned them in passing, or maybe there's just been a bunch of text messages. I want to actually spend time in your physical presence and see if there's a connection, if there's a vibe. Do I like your attitude? Do I like your spirit? Do we have good conversation and dialogue?
That's the point.
Do I look at you and I want to keep looking at you, or do I want to? This ain't gonna work out. I want to see how you interact with other people. Are you courteous to the people that you deal with? Are you polite? Do you have good manners or what have you? How do you dress? Do you dress? Not whether you have designer on everything, but do you look presentable? Are you clean? Do you have good hygiene? Do you look like you don't wash yourself or bathe on a regular basis? All right. I mean, it's just simple things. But that's the purpose of a date. And you can do that during a walk in the park. You can do that at McDonald's. You can also do it at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse if you feel so inclined. You can do it at the beach. You can do it at a museum. You can do it anywhere. You could do it at Starbucks or at a tea shop or something.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the purpose of a date. That's what it is. All that other stuff is maybe secondary, more likely it's tertiary. That's like 3, 4, 5, 6 things down the line. That's cool, yeah. But all the other stuff is what's paramount.
Real talk.
I gotta ask the question for those people that want to die on the hill, because that really was, with all the random social media viral topics and stuff that we've been having, it's actually a little disturbing how long that whole Applebee's thing lasted. I gotta say this, for those of you all who, before this went viral, just knew in your heart of hearts that Applebee's was the definition of low effort dates, let me ask you a question. You turning down Applebee's dates, and you're still single as hell with no real prospects on the horizon. She went to McDonald's with her dude, happily married, beautiful child, have their own successful restaurant, racking in paper.
Just saying.
Who won in this competition? Who won?
Stop figuring out
the finish line.
Yes. Can we please stop figuring out ways to lose? Can we?
Whatever you want out there, you're gonna find. If you're hungry for image, you'll be able to get that. Trust me. You might turn down 10 dates, but get one 5-star, 4-star dining date. You might get that. Okay, cool. If you want the little status, little trappings of wealth, whatever, you can get that now and again. Okay, cool. But if you want sincere connection, if you want genuine you have to prioritize that. And that doesn't mean that the other stuff that you're looking for won't come down the line. I'm sure there's going to be tons of times to do all that. But most couples, the happily married couples, for all this nonsense about it has to be this level, that people, they go to McDonald's all the time. They go to Chipotle all the time.
Bruh.
They've been married 2-3 years. They pull up and they go to Sonic's in the drive-thru. They in the drive-thru getting their food. And they're listening to the radio, their playlist, eating their little tater tots and whatnot, having a great time.
Mm-hmm.
No one needs to take you to a place that costs 3 figures per person just to ultimately get to a place where now you're able to go to dates where you're on the dollar menu. That's hustling backwards. And that makes no sense. Kill your ego. Your ego is killing you and you don't realize it. Kill your ego so you can live life. My God, man. I'm gonna land my I'm gonna land my BMW right there.
And let's not forget about all the women out here that's out here saying Sierra's prayer. Feel how you want to feel about Russell Wilson. I'm not really a fan. You know, I'm not a fan of Sierra either, for that matter. But they seem to have a pretty decent relationship, and women are always talking about Sierra's prayer. Sierra's prayer. Sierra's man took her to Waffle House on their first date. I'm just saying. Waffle House, McDonald's. Are you seeing a pattern here? It doesn't matter where you go on the first date, bruh. It really don't. You know what I'm saying? If there's a connection there and, you know, you guys are compatible, that's what matters. You know, I've gone on first dates to the park. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been no money intentionally because, you know, either I just felt like going to the park, you know, because after a while, when you've been dating for some time, you start to realize that dates are not particularly effective sometimes, you know. And so you start trying different stuff. And so what I started doing is I started to really talk to women for extended periods of time on the phone to vet them before even taking them on a date. Everybody does not deserve to go on a date with you, and that's men and women. Everybody don't qualify or shouldn't qualify for a date with you. If you don't feel no connection in the conversation, you shouldn't go on a date with them at all to begin with. And sometimes, particularly for men, when you get a funny feeling about a chick, you like her a little bit, but you get a funny feeling about her, you need to do some shit like take her on a free date and see how she reacts. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes there's smoke. Where there's smoke, there's fire. You know what I'm saying? And if you feel like she might be out to try to dig in your pockets, she very well may be. And I'll land my plane there. I know we got to go. So go ahead.
We got to get up out of here. We appreciate everybody for coming in. Also, I saw a video the other day that was a guy who took a girl out to eat. I think it was like, I wouldn't say a Chinese restaurant, but it was kind of like if you went to Bourbon, one of those Bourbon food court, you know, that Bourbon Grill, I think, restaurant in the food court, and they sat down. They sat down and ate their food, and he was like, "Oh, so, you know, tell me about your past of guys you dated in your past." And she was like, "Yeah, I went out with this one guy and end up, I don't know, somehow I end up in the bathroom and I was showing up some stranger, and then my boyfriend came in and I started showing him up, and then his friend came in and then I started to give him head too." And it was just basically it was a funny skit. What he was trying to say was that women he brought up about her past, but she went off thinking he thought that that it wasn't going to be any serious story she had. You know, it was just a basic conversation. And he kind of figured out like, damn, I'm actually out eating with this street hood hoe that is just gobbling up anything that walks. And the caption on the bottom said, "This is the type of conversation I should have had at home before I took on a date."
There you go.
And that's why I wanted to just put that out there, because a lot of times it will save you headaches if you do the proper vetting beforehand. All right. So with that being said, we up out of here. Appreciate everybody for coming and watching us again for another dope week. We appreciate all the new people that came in and comment. We see you. We appreciate y'all. Shout out to Mr. Teddy P. Appreciate you, King. And we'll see you guys next week. All right.
And one more thing.
What's up?
One more thing. Shout out to All Dolled Up Salons. I went to the event yesterday. I had a fundraiser with Heart Sisters. They did an event to raise money for heart health and awareness. It was a wonderful event at the Broward Art Center. And shout out to them. It was fantastic. Shout out to Miss Faye and everybody else. Wonderful event. And I go and check out the Heart Sisters and make a donation there and show your love and follow All Dolled Up Salons as well. God bless.
You have contact with them?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. That's the lady I told you about, Miss Faye. About we wanted to bring her on.
Yeah, bring her on.
We'll talk. We'll definitely talk about that. But shout out to Miss Faye and All Dolled Up and Heart Sisters, and the wonderful job that they did yesterday with that fundraiser. It was a beautiful event.
Shout out to that, man. We love y'all. See y'all next week. All right. Peace.
All right. Yep.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You gotta eat what you kill. You gotta go out there. You gotta hunt for your meals.
We all have that ability to connect with people, to be that motivational person in somebody's life.
You gotta let people know there's certain lines you don't cross, and that there's gonna be consequences if you do.
Man up.
If you are an adult and you are in a relationship, that person's emotions are not your responsibility.
Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
The devil, during slavery, destroyed the masculinity or manhood of the so-called Negro. No man. No man. Right now you got to be trained all over again to be a man.
When someone is obligated to do something, it is binding upon them to do it. And failure to do it causes reaction.
Man up.
Position make you rich. I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life forever.
If that people knew that glorious path, if that people knew that glorious path, if that people knew that glorious path, then they would be more inclined to respect themselves.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up. Manifestation. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestation.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You want to tell me about yourself? Go get your friends. I'll tell you who you are based on who your friends are.
Don't just live and die. That's an ugly existence. Make your life matter. Make your life count. Live a life where people can actually mourn you for the things you left behind, not just because you were around and existed.
We need strong black nuclear family.
Yes.
That's what it is. Mother, father, son, daughter, all in the same house with a focus on the family unit as a whole.
We had Tulsa, Atlanta, New Jersey, Detroit. We had Rosewood. We had Black Wall Streets all over.
The Republicans aren't for us, but the Democrats aren't for us either. And we should have no alliance to any political party. We only have alliance to what is in our own best
A
interest.
place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and
Man up.
inspire.
At the end of the day, as men in the community, we
Man
must
up.
stand together and be counted because people look to us for guidance, leadership,
Man
and
up.
protection. And if we are not about that business, we are not on our job.
Man up.
Here we have grown-ass man conversations in the spirit of that purpose.
Man up.
Anthony Malcolm, Bobby Drake, Major Gage.
Man up.
We are. This is Manifestations 2020.
Manifestations.